Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So let's dive right into it. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. As always, there's a free edition of my ebook on becoming a better engineer in the description. So let's talk about um, full stack versus specialization. Personally, I had never been a full stack guy. I, I mean, I started with backend and I did backend for too long, and it seems like the market is changing now. It does seem like the things that we used to advocate for, learn this or in this order, that has kind of flipped basically because of AI. So the people who had specialized in certain things, for example, in backend, they are transitioning into full stack development, and the reasoning is quite simple actually. Um, the first reasoning is that it's better for them in terms of job security. If they lose this job, it's much easier to find a job elsewhere, because they're full stack developers. Everybody wants to hire full stack developers. One person who can do everything. They can do front end, back end, who can do DevOps of stuff and all that. And so if you're kind of let go from a company, you go elsewhere, and people just hire you, man. So I mean, I love to tell you that specialize in one thing and then you'll find plenty of jobs. I think the market is kind of changing. Um, and also just another thing is that well, this second thing is that you're gonna have more confidence working with different code bases, simply because a lot of the times we just don't want to touch certain parts of the project, which is fine, but it ends up um, coming back and bite you, simply because you just feel like you have no idea where you're going. You're kind of lost, especially when you start touching the other side of the code, like the front end and all that stuff, if you're a backend developer. So it does help with the confidence as well. It does make you feel like, yeah, you're doing something, man. Meanwhile, if you specialize in one thing and um, that's all you do, and if for some reason um, you need to help somebody else on front end, you cannot do that. You simply because you just never learned, you never bothered. But like I said, the job market is kind of changing now, and employers do kind of expect you to do even more than before, to know a little bit more, a little bit more. And then the third thing is that there is more tools available to you. There's literally just more tools available, uh, more tools that you can utilize. It's always good to have more tools available. It doesn't matter, your front end developer, back end developer, DevOps, it really doesn't matter. You can compare it to anything, any profession in life. A person who has way more tools available, and first they're gonna succeed. They're gonna do better than somebody who doesn't have as many tools available. They'll also, um, if they tend to know those tools very well, they will not just succeed, they'll do way, way, way better than other people. First, more tools available. Secondly, they can actually utilize the tool. They know how to operate because they have some experience. Same with this full stack development. It just gives you more tools, more experience with certain things, and then it also becomes easier to transition into roles like CTO, and lead developer and all that, because with leads, and the higher you go up the ladder into a bit more management position, a bit things become a bit more vague, generic, so you kind of expect it to know more than just one thing. Then the fourth thing is one of my favorite, is and that is it becomes much, much, much easier to make a lot of content if you know both front end and back end, DevOps and all that, maybe AI integration and all that. It's so much easier to make content, so much easier to be confident when you're talking about these things. Publish content on Medium, on your blog, LinkedIn, and all that. You can have interactions with people on LinkedIn easily. Then that, what does that give you? That kind of gives you more exposure. You get more profile views, get more connections, and each time you do that, you get more and more, and so you end up having this snowball effect where each time you post, you suddenly have 10, 15, 20 likes, 30 likes, and your employer is gonna see that, other employer is gonna see that, and yeah, it helps you build connections and getting hired in future. Just little thing, but it does start with knowing a little bit more than what you know. Like I said, just going into that full stack direction. um and yeah, last but not least, in these days it's much easier to find job if you're a full stack developer, not just job specifically this time, but like self-employed employment kind of job. So if you need to do something on Shopify, WordPress, or any of these platforms that are popular, no code, it's much easier to find people who are already relying on these platforms and just ask them for work, agency work, or somebody who wants a new website. And it becomes easier because yeah, like I said, it all goes in same direction because you're a full stack developer. If you're specialized in one thing, you're good, and you'll earn a lot more money from that one particular company. But if you do not fit there anymore for some reason, then going elsewhere becomes a nightmare, because there is less and less jobs that require you to specialize, because you can rely on AI tools and all that. I mean, I don't completely agree with that, but that's just the view of the employer. So that's the flow you gotta go in, and yeah. Okay, so like I said, if you new to the channel, do subscribe, like these sort of videos, subscribe. Free ebook in the description below, you can grab a free copy, no cost. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.